I want you to imagine you're trapped. Not in a room or a cave, but in a ship that's sunk to the bottom of the ocean. The pressure is just immense. The darkness is absolute, and your entire world, it's just this tiny, shrinking pocket of air. This isn't some kind of nightmare I'm describing. For one man, this was his reality for 60 straight hours.
100 feet down. I mean, that's like standing on top of a 10-story building and then putting the entire ocean on top of you. You're in the crushing cold, the total blackness of the Atlantic. And this is where our story begins, and where, for all intents and purposes, it should have ended.
So let me introduce you to Harrison Okene. He's a 29-year-old guy, a chef on a tugboat. They're about 20 miles off the Nigerian coast. It's just another early morning, another day at sea. He'd literally just woken up. I mean, the setting couldn't be more mundane, more normal. A guy still in his boxers in the bathroom. And it's always in these moments, isn't it? These moments of absolute routine where life just decides to flip the script on you forever. And then, just bang. Out of absolutely nowhere, this colossal wave just slams into the side of the boat. The impact is catastrophic. We're talking about a force of nature that no amount of steel can stand up against. In a single instant, the entire vessel just flips over. The floor is now the ceiling is the floor. Gravity becomes this complete nightmare. Harrison is thrown from the toilet onto what's now the ground, and then the toilet itself breaks free and comes crashing down right on top of him. And then, darkness. The ship's power dies. With one final flicker, the lights are gone. He's plunged into this disorienting, absolutely terrifying blackness. The only thing he can hear? The roar of rushing water, a constant chilling reminder of where he is now.
Somehow, he manages to pry the door open, but the boat is completely upside down. He has no idea which way is up, which way leads to safety. And in all this chaos, a brand new threat is about to make itself known.
As he's struggling to figure things out, this torrent of water just blasts him away from what he thought was an exit. It sweeps him deeper and deeper into the ship's metal guts. He ends up in another small officer's bathroom, and the door slams shut behind him. Now, this room is flooded, but not completely. He's found an air pocket, a tiny, tiny bubble of life at the bottom of the sea. But what he hears next, well, it's just horrifying. In the pitch black, he can hear the desperate cries of his crewmates echoing through the water. And then, one by one, silence. Their voices just fade away into the abyss.
Harrison thinks they got out. He assumes they escaped and that he was just the one left behind. But the truth is so much worse. Everyone else on that ship has drowned. He is utterly, completely alone. And what followed was an ordeal that's almost impossible to comprehend. For the next 2.5 days, Harrison had to fight a war on two fronts, one against his environment and the other against his own mind. Okay, so the water is freezing, right? It's threatening to suck all the heat from his body. So what does he do? In total darkness, he starts feeling around, ripping wooden paneling off the walls. He manages to lash them together and builds himself this little platform, just enough to get his body out of that deadly cold water. I mean, this just shows you what he was up against. For supplies, he found 1 can of Coke. That's it. And his enemies? Well, you've got the cold, starvation, the crushing darkness, the fact that his oxygen is running out. Oh, and then there were the crayfish. Yeah. Sea creatures found their way into the wreck and started literally biting pieces of his skin. Down there, he has absolutely no sense of time. Day just bleeds into night, or what he thinks is night. He just waits, in the dark, on his little raft, listening to the groaning metal of the ship, which is basically his tomb. And every single moment that ticks by, that precious pocket of air gets a little bit smaller. Then, after almost 3 full days, something changes. He hears a sound. It's new, a hammering sound. And then he sees a flicker in the distance, a tiny reflection of light in the murky water. And hope, a feeling he had probably given up on entirely, starts to stir. So he takes a deep breath and he swims out of his little air pocket towards that light. And he sees him, a diver. A rescue team is here, but they're not here for survivors. They've been sent to recover the bodies of the crew. And the diver swims right past him, thinking Harrison is just another corpse. This is it. This is the moment. With every last ounce of strength he has, in this final, desperate act, Harrison reaches out through the water, and he grabs the diver's hand.
Can you even imagine the shock? The body you were sent to recover just grabbed you? In the actual rescue footage, you can hear the absolute disbelief in the diver's voice when he radios back to the surface. It's a moment of impossible discovery.
But he's not safe yet. Not even close. See, being rescued from that deep is an incredibly dangerous procedure. You can't just swim up to the surface. See, for 60 hours, all that immense pressure had been forcing nitrogen from the air he was breathing right into his bloodstream. His own body had basically become a ticking time bomb. If he came up too fast, all that nitrogen would turn into gas bubbles inside his blood and tissues. It's a condition called the bends, and it can cause paralysis, a stroke, or even death. So the cruel irony here is that after surviving for days against all odds, the rescue itself could be the thing that kills him. So his ordeal still wasn't over. They brought him to the surface in a special diving bell, but he was immediately transferred to another metal box, a decompression chamber. And for 3 more days, he had to wait inside as they slowly, so painstakingly, brought the pressure back to normal. So what happens after an ordeal like that? Something you can barely even imagine. Well, in a truly stunning act of courage, Harrison O'Kane decided to face his fear head-on. He was so inspired by the men who saved his life that he trained and became a certified commercial diver himself. He actually returned to the very world that almost killed him. You know, a story like Harrison O'Kane's, it just forces you to ask the question. When you're faced with absolute darkness, crushing pressure, and what seems like the certainty of death, something inside him just refused to give up. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What's hiding deep inside all of us, just waiting for the moment it's needed most?